Pumpkin, what's wrong?
This place is haunted!
All right, now hang on. Now, I know this place isn't as warm as I'd hoped, but, you know, I think we get some daylight in here, it's gonna feel better. Hey, I'm gonna light a vanilla candle, and it's gonna be a game changer.
Will it though?
So, Justin, again, man, it's been such a great long ride with you, seeing you progress in your career.
Thanks,
but I'm gonna start with the hard question.
Okay.
What do you hope a crystal ball would say for your life?
I don't know. I want to keep making movies, of course. I want to keep making more and more personal movies. I think that one of the things about doing this movie, doing a big studio movie, is in Hollywood anyway, it's a lot easier to convince people to say yes to things when they can look back and say, oh, well, he's done that already. And to be able to just sort of knock out any questions about, like, can I do, you know, a really big budget movie with a production schedule of like 150 days with all these stars and all that, this thing that, you know, in the minds of the money folks, give them, you know, agita. If I could sort of cross that off my list of things that I have done, you can't use any of those things anymore to say no to me. And so being able to have more canvas space is how I think of it for the stories that I want to tell. I hope that that is in my future. But I think even most importantly is to figure out how to be happy and how to enjoy life. I think when you are a Black filmmaker, and in my case, a Black queer filmmaker, it's just, you have to exert a lot more energy to get things made. It's the thing that you're making is hard enough, but just being the politician and also being a producerial and entrepreneurial and a diplomat and an activist and all these things that you have to be just to get in the door, it really can sap a lot out of you. And so to figure out how to do it and feel happy and feel like my family time is good and my time away from the studio is good, that's always going to be, I think, probably like a lifelong journey. But I hope I find that balance one day. I really would like to. It would make things a little bit easier.
Yeah, I mean, I know it's like, I know making any movie is hard, but I know it's even tougher for you and feeling some responsibility for all of us that's been along with you, because I know you reach out to you like, yo, bro, you know, but so I know I respect your grind for sure. So my second question though, but this is Haunted Mansion. Do you believe in ghosts?
Yeah, I think I do. I don't know what they are per se, but I just have had too many experiences that can't really be explained in any other kind of way. I mean, and I also grew up Black Catholic, you know, Creole Catholic in Houston. You don't grow up that way and not experience and encounter a number of things that make you go, what the hell? And especially, you know, my mom was the youngest of 9 kids. I was the youngest sort of, you know, in the chain of cousins and all that. And so all of that to say, I experienced a lot of deaths. A lot of folks went, you know, while I was growing up. And almost every time there would be some pretty remarkable set of coincidences on the other side to just let you know that they were there somehow and thinking of you. And I don't know what to do with that. Like, I don't know exactly how it works, you know, but yeah, there's something to it. There's something to it.
He's new. Have you seen a portal around here?
I think it's this way. Come on.
All right. Don't go losing your...
Don't you dare say it.
Head.
think when we met, you was at Paramount. I don't know if you were somewhere before that, but I think when I met you was at Paramount.
Yeah, either Paramount or Focus, one of the two. But
yeah,
I was at Focus Rogue for a little bit, and then I went to Paramount.
So being a publicist before you became a filmmaker, like much like Ava DuVernay, where she was a rapper and then a publicist, didn't it?
Yeah.
Like what was that? I mean, what was that fear of stepping outside of that box? Was it a fear? Like did
I had no fear. I was a filmmaker first in my mind. I just sort of didn't have access to equipment, to money, or to even like, know-how. But that's always what I wanted to do. And when I was in college, I didn't really have the luxury of taking jobs that didn't pay. And I didn't have the luxury of sort of waiting for the right opportunities. And I remember like at some point in college, the internships that were available, some of them, all of the sort of production ones were gone, and there was a bunch of PR ones. And I took it because telling the story about the story is already something I was kind of doing. You had to sort of do that. Hold on, headphone fell out. Kind of had to do that as an independent filmmaker. You have to sort of get people invested before you even really get started. And it became a career, but always the passion was film. That's what I did on the weekends. And, that's how Lena Waithe and I met. And that's how Ava and I really got to know each other. As we were always kind of grinding on our side hustles. And yeah, so there was no fear. I was ready to go. I was really more afraid of being in PR for as long as I was. But on the other side of even that, I became very grateful for that experience because it is so important. It's been really important to me to be able to know how to like discuss and talk about these things and sell people on my ideas before I even get to make them.
Yeah, I know we can't go through all the list of characters, and I feel like Owen Wilson, Danny DeVito, I feel like their crystal balls, you kind of already know, even Rosario, we could say that. But if you had to look at LaKeith and Tiffany and Chase and just give me like one thing about what the crystal ball is saying about them, what would you? I
think Chase is a remarkable young man and a remarkable talent. And I don't know. I see a Chadwick Boseman in that guy. Like he's just really, he's a star. He's a star, and I hope that he's got another movie coming out with LaKeith. I think this year, actually, this winter or maybe early next year. But I think the world is his oyster. Tiffany too. I think. We all know Tiffany is a star. I think what is so exciting to me about her is that there is this. And this is true for a lot of comedians. She's very funny, but there is a realness to her and there is a seriousness to her that I think is so compelling. And I can't wait for people to see that side of her in a role. I think it's sort of like the same thing that happens in, the original Color Purple. And you're like, wait, Oprah Winfrey can do that? And Whoopi Goldberg can do that. She's got that in her in a big, big way that I'm really excited to figure out when that comes out and how people see it. And for LaKeith, he's the leading man that we need. He's a great character actor and he's really fun in these sort of quirky roles, but he is a wonderful, wonderful leading man. I kind of think of him as like Johnny Depp, in that he's specific and he can play all these different parts and bring something to them. But I really feel like he can anchor a film in any genre. And I'm excited to see more people discover him in that capacity.
Harry, it's coming for you. Oh, yeah. That's got some mojo to it. Little dragon's blood or yerba santa? What are we talking about?
Sage from Costco. When I leave my body to look at this dark spirit, I don't want anyone else jumping in it. Not that I think it will get to that. I've done it 1,000 times.
You see, you say it like that. Makes me feel like you've never done it.
Yes, I have. I've probably done it like 10,000 times.
Why elevate it to that level? Then I don't believe it at all. How am I going to get into this?
Believe it, boo. Believe it. Now, if I'm gone for more than 10 minutes, ring this bell. If I get lost, it'll help me find my way back. See, I have to be very raw in order to go into the other side. This is a picture of my dog that tragically moved to live on a farm. Actually, got hit by a car. Bursted like a water balloon.
Sis.
Wait, what?
What?
Well, I don't know if you know, but I'm back in school. I'm back to finish my senior year after 25 years, and I'm doing artificial.
All right.
And I know that AI played a big role in the writer's strike and playing a big role in SAG-AFTRA negotiations. But I'm curious, does it affect the director's chair at all, other than affecting those unions? Like, how does it?
It very much affects the director's chair. I mean, it's scary. It's existential, and not because the technology itself is scary, of course, but really it's about the industry and how the industry operates. And if there's a way to sort of create without the actual creator present, I think anybody in the industry just instinctively knows that that's something that's going to be really attractive to certain people who are in power positions. Let's say that. And I think that is really what the existential threat is. And around the time of the strike, when we all kind of realized, oh, there's actually a thing already where you can tell a computer, hey, make a car commercial the way Spike Lee would make it, or make a car commercial, no actors, just CGI cars, CGI landscapes, make that the way Quentin Tarantino could make it. And this program would spit something out that's pretty compelling and kind of more or less does what you ask it to do. Yeah, I think that freaked a lot of people out, and freaks to this day a lot of people out. And particularly when you look at how these big movies are made, these franchise movies, these multiverse movies, I think a lot of directors can easily see a future where, okay, you're brought on to work with the actors, but all of these sequences, we're going to make that. We're just going to make those chunks, and we're going to bring you in to do this part. And that's not what we got into the game necessarily to do. That's not, the way I think the money folks and some of the producers think, and not all of them, there's some really wonderful producers, but the way some people think about movies and how they're constructed is really different from the way that the artists who are actually making these things think about how to construct them. And I think that's what really what I think the subtext of the strike was about, is like who gets the authority in a creative process. I think if we feel secure about all of that, then AI is a welcome part of the palette, of all the tools that a person uses. But if it can be used to uproot us and to replace us, that's when it gets a little dicey, Yeah.
I know we run out of time, but I got one last question. Haunted Mansion's coming out on digital release. And I know we talked about ghosts earlier, but if you could be haunted, if you could choose the ghost to be haunted by, for anybody in the history of time, like what ghost would you want to haunt you?
Here, let me see. Here, one second. Give me 1 second. I used to say Prince, but I think I want to talk to this dude. I want to see. I got some questions for him, man. This is one I grew up on Michael, and yeah, I don't know. I'm having a moment right now. Just going through his back catalog, so I'd love to talk to him. Yeah. in my imagination, I think sometimes I am talking to him, but I know that that's just the.
Maybe he is over there, man. Telling
that's
you
how. That's that California cabbage, I don't know if that's really happening, but yeah, I think that'd be a fun one.
Well, I always appreciate the time, Justin. A great movie. You've always been a great artist and a great person. More than that, so I appreciate our camaraderie, and I appreciate being able to go on this trip.
Thank you, man, and congrats to you. Congrats to you going back to school, man. That's huge.
All right,
that's huge.
Thank you, everybody.